Welcome everyone to special meeting of the City Council on Tuesday,
Wednesday the 31st.
or Wednesday the 31st. If we could have roll call please to establish quorum.
Terry McClung.
Here.
Bob Thomas.
Here.
Mickey Snyder. Here. James DeVito. Here. Christy Kendrick. Here. David Mitchell.
Here.
We have 6.
All right. With the reason for this meeting is a special meeting to discuss ordinance, let's see, the first one, 2244. If I can get a motion to discuss. So moved. Second. In the bottom, section 5 of the original ordinance, the last line, the original line said, maintenance, repairs, and operation in amount equal to 3/4 of the revenue. In the new ordinance, we've struck the word operation because we want everyone to know that this is not for hiring new personnel. This is strictly for the infrastructure, for capital improvements, repairs, and maintenance. It's not for personnel. And with the word operation, we felt that that could be interpreted by future councils or mayors to include hiring new personnel. So that's the reason we struck that verbiage. Is there any questions?
So it's simply maintenance, repair, and improvements.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. What is the process? I mean, can we do that by simple vote, or do we have to reread it and repass it, or what?
Mr. City Attorney?
I actually think we probably need to repass this.
Read the whole thing?
Yeah. Just to be on the safe side.
3 times?
We can
By
read it
title
once,
twice.
By title twice.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
technically.
And then pass it with the emergency clause.
Yeah.
Because the second ordinance, we noticed that the county clerk has thought that there's some issues with the title, so we need to clean this up first, and then we'll go back into the second.
Oh, okay.
So we'll
ordinance in
do
the second
both of
meeting.
them.
Give a number here.
With 2 separate meetings, so we have to close this meeting after we pass this, because we can only address one issue at a special meeting.
Okay. All right.
So you're ready for the motion
Yes, sir.
now? I make a motion that we amend ordinance number 2244, amended as of 8/31/16, section 5, by adding and between repair and improvements and striking the 2 words and operation.
Second.
Did I mess up? I withdraw that. I'm going to let James do it.
Well, I want to point out that
That doesn't...
there's a rearrangement of language in that section.
Oh, there is?
So that's not... You should just...
We're going to reread
that
this
happens.
anyway. Mr. McClung?
I'd like to make a motion that we reread ordinance number 2244 as presented in front of us with the changes required in full to reapprove it.
I'll second that. Got it.
Okay. Everybody understand the motion? Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved.
Ordinance number 2244, amended on 8/31/16, an ordinance providing for the levy of a 1% sales and use tax within the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, declaring that an emergency exists and prescribing other matters pertaining thereto. Whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, the city, has determined that there is a great need for immediate improvement in municipal services and for a source of revenue to finance such services in regard to the city auditorium and the city water and sewer infrastructure in the city. And whereas Title 26, Chapter 75, Subchapter 2 and Subchapter 3, the Arkansas Code of 1987 annotated, the authorizing legislation, provide for the levy of a 1% city-wide sales and use tax. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Section 1. Under the authority of the authorizing legislation, there is hereby levied a 1% tax on the gross receipts from the sale at retail within the city of all items which are subject to the Arkansas Gross Receipts Tax of 1941 as amended, Arkansas Code Annotated 2652-101 et sec, and the imposition of an excise or use tax on the storage, use, distribution, or other consumption within the city of tangible personal property subject to the Arkansas Compensating Tax Act of 1949 as amended, Arkansas Code Annotated 2653-101 et sec, at a rate of 1% of the sale price of the property, or, in the case of leases or rentals, of the lease or rental price, collectively the sales and use tax. Section 2, that said tax shall be collected for a period of 10 years from the first date of collection unless otherwise renewed by proper means and vote. The termination shall be automatic without the necessity of any action by the city other than proper notification to the collectors and state agencies as may be required by the Arkansas Code Annotated. Section 3, that all ordinances and parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 4, that this ordinance and the tax to be collected shall not take effect until an election is held on the question of levying the sales and use tax, at which a majority of the electors voting on the question shall have approved the levy of the sales and use tax and as otherwise prescribed by Arkansas law. Section 5, that the revenue raised from the tax shall be used to fund the city auditorium's maintenance, repair, improvements, and operation in an amount equal to 1/4 of the revenue, and to fund the city's water and sewer infrastructure's maintenance, repairs, and improvements in an amount equal to 3/4 of the revenue.
Mr.
Move
DeVito.
to approve ordinance number 2244 as amended on 8/31/2016.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Votes, roll call?
Voice.
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 All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. DeVito.
Move to suspend the rules and place ordinance number 2244 as amended on 8/31/16 on its second reading by title only.
Second.
Now we get the roll call.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
6-0. Ordinance number 2244, amended 8/31/16. An ordinance providing for the levy of a 1% sales and use tax within the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, declaring that an emergency exists and prescribing other matters pertaining thereto.
Mr. DeVito.
Move to approve ordinance number 2244 as amended 8/31/16.
Second.
Any discussion?
Voice.
No.
Voice.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. DeVito.
To suspend the rules and place ordinance number 2244 as amended 8/31/16 on its third reading by title only.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
6-0. Ordinance number 2244, amended 8/31/16, an ordinance providing for the levy of 1% sales and use tax within the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, declaring that an emergency exists and prescribing other matters thereto.
Mr. DeVito.
Move to approve ordinance number 2244 as amended 8/31/16 on its third reading.
Second.
Any discussion?
Roll call.
Third reading.
Oh, that is the third, thanks. All right, Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
6-0.
Mr. DeVito.
Move to invoke the emergency clause.
Second.
Nikki.
Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? All right.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Emergency clause. Section 6, it is hereby ascertained and declared that there is a great need to establish a stable source of revenue to finance vital municipal services in order to promote and protect the health, safety, and welfare of the city and its inhabitants, particularly in regards to water and sewer systems within the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It is therefore declared that an emergency exists, and this ordinance being necessary for the immediate preservation of public peace, health, and safety shall be in force and take effect immediately from and after the first day of its approval by the City Council.
Mr. McClung?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now then, if I can get a motion to re-adjourn the special meeting to hear ordinance number 2245.
I don't think you need that. I think you just
Second.
open the meeting and take a roll call.
All right, we do it.
We'll let
Still
you
need a
be boss.
motion to discuss.
Second.
All right. Mr. Weaver, you want to explain?
When this was taken to Berryville and they were looking at it, they wanted some guidance, and they consulted with the mayor and they consulted with the clerk, and they still weren't happy with the way that to put the title on the ballot and the language to go in the actual vote. So, since we were going to have to fix the other item, it's easy enough to try to expand this a little bit and cover ourselves even better than, hopefully, based on some suggestions from them and the concerns that other issues of special elections are going through around the state right now. You may have seen some of the newspaper articles recently that ballot titles are the way to get rid of things you don't want to have happen. And so, to clear it up, since we're here, I would express the idea that maybe voting this might be a good idea to further, so that no one can challenge our ballot title when it gets on there, that we don't fully explain what we're doing, that we are raising 1 cent on all retail, both lease and sale. Because the way we had the original one, it was short, sweet, to the point that we was raising 1%. This adds the detail from the rest of the ordinance. And hopefully makes us even more bulletproof than I think we probably already were. But it still doesn't mean we won't necessarily draw somebody to complaints. But hopefully it will.
Mr. Vita?
Move to place ordinance number 2245 as amended on 8/31/2016 on its first reading.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That's so moved.
Ordinance number 2245, amended 8/31/16, an ordinance calling for a special election to refer the issue of levying a 1% sales and use tax within the city limits of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, to the voters of the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, for their acceptance or rejection, declaring an emergency to exist, and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas has made a comprehensive study and review of need for additional funds for the city auditorium and city water and sewer systems. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Section 1, the County Board of Election Commissioners is hereby notified as required by Arkansas Code Annotated that this ordinance has been passed, directing the special election be held as soon as practical, but no later than 120 days from August 31, 2016, to submit to the voters of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, the issue of approving or rejecting an additional 1% sales and use tax as allowed by the Arkansas Code Annotated Title 26. Section 2, that said tax, if passed, shall be collected for a period of 10 years from the first date of collection unless otherwise renewed by proper means and vote. The termination shall be automatic without the necessity of any action by the city other than proper notification to the collectors and state agencies as may be required by the Arkansas Code annotated. Section 3, that said election should be held on November 8, 2016. Section 4, that the ballot title to be used is as followed. For ratification and approval of an additional 1% tax to be levied on the gross receipts from the sale at retail within the city of all items which are subject to the Arkansas Gross Receipts Act of 1941 as amended. Arkansas Code annotated 2652-101 et seq. And the imposition of an excise or use tax on the storage, use, distribution, or other consumption within the city of tangible personal property, subject to the Arkansas Compensating Tax Act of 1949 as amended. Arkansas Code annotated 2653-101 et seq. At a rate of 1% of the sale price of the property or, in the case of leases or rentals, of the lease or rental price, collectively the sales and use tax. Against ratification and approval of an additional 1% tax to be levied on the gross receipts from the sale at retail within the city of all items which are subject to the Arkansas Gross Receipts Act of 1941 as amended, Arkansas Code annotated 2652-101 et seq., and the imposition of an excise or use tax on the storage, use, distribution, or other consumption within the city of tangible personal property subject to the Arkansas Compensating Tax Act of 1949 as amended. Arkansas Code annotated 2653-101 et seq. At a rate of 1% of the sale price of the property or, in the case of leases or rentals, of the lease or rental price, collectively the sales and use tax. Section 5. Repeal clause. All ordinances, resolutions, and parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflicts.
Mr. Mr. DeVito.
Move to approve ordinance number 2245 as amended on 8/31/2016 on its first reading.
Second.
In discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. DeVito.
Move to approve ordinance number 2245 as amended 8/31/16 on its second reading by title only.
Second.
We haven't done that part. We just approved the first reading.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
And we
No.
voted.
We already approved the first reading. We read it and,
Did we not vote?
yeah, we did.
So the next thing would be to put it, to suspend the rules, correct?
That's what he just did. Suspend the rules,
And place it on the second.
place it on a second reading.
It's on tape. I did.
All right. He did. Second?
I second.
Any discussion? Okay.
I placed bets on that. Okay.
I'll take that
At
one.
this point, I wouldn't either.
All right, well, we can do it again, so.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. McClung.
Yes.
Ms. Schneider.
Yes.
Mr. DeVito.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick.
Yes.
6-0. Ordinance number 2245, amended 8/31/16, an ordinance calling for a special election to refer the issue of levying a 1% sales and use tax within the city limits of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, to the voters of the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, for their acceptance or rejection, declaring an emergency to exist, and for other purposes.
Mr. DeVito.
Move to approve ordinance number 2245 as amended 8/31/16 on its second reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Voice vote? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Any opposed? Mr. DeVito?
Move to approve ordinance number 2245 as amended 8/31/16 on its third reading by title only.
You want to read it?
Oh, shit.
By title.
I did. I'm sorry.
Now we get to suspend the rules and place it on its third reading.
Yeah, you didn't suspend this time.
I didn't say suspend.
No, you went to approve.
$5 on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of
I was
that's
paying
it.
attention this time.
So I'm right in saying moving to approve ordinance?
No.
No.
No, we gotta suspend the rules and read it by title only.
Okay, so just suspend the rules and place ordinance number 2245 as amended, 8/31/16, on its third reading by title only.
Yeah, boy.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Just in case, we go back and do the second reading?
That's why we let you do it, James. There's a reason.
Regular roll call? Oh, we read it. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
No, we need
We need to vote.
vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No,
Aye.
we just suspended the rules. We need to do a roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote. That's what I thought.
Ms. Kendrick?
Aye.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Of course.
6-0. All right. Okay, third reading, ordinance number 2245, amended 8/31/16, an ordinance calling for a special election to refer the issue of levying a 1% sales and use tax within the city limits of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, to the voters of the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, for their acceptance or rejection, declaring an emergency to exist, and for other purposes.
Mr. DeVito.
To approve ordinance number 2245 as amended, 8/31/16, on its third reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yep.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
6-0.
Okay.
Motion to the emergency clause.
Second.
Oh, forgot.
Any discussion? Okay. Emergency clause.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Kendrick?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
6-0. Emergency Clause, Section 6. Since it is necessary to quickly address this issue and to promote economic thrift by the city for the preservation of public peace, health, and safety, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall take effect and be in force from and after its passage and approval.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? Do I get a second?
Second.
Oh.
Mr. DeVito, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Is this what we give to the clerk?
Bye-bye.